there. When's Phil coming back on? Almost never, because he does not understand how to self-censor most of the time.
It's fair. It's a
He,
fair
he knows
point.
it. He got put in time out after the last one. So, all right, let's try. Dennis, I
Oh
need
my
you to
goodness.
record me just a saying, and I'll put it over the music myself. But it's just,
Okay.
this is Dennis Robinson, Lycan Solomon's Odyssey. This is Wise and Nerdy, where fatherhood meets fandom, or something like that, right? Something that goes, it'll sound something like this.
This is Wise and Nerdy, a show where nerding out is cool and solving the problems of the world is a way of life.
Yo, what happens when Toys R Us kids grow up and become parents? They become co-hosts of the show where geeky fathers unite to share the joys, challenges, and hilarity of navigating parenthood. Because being a grown-up doesn't mean you stop being a fan. It just means your sidekicks call you Unc. And know that you're going to miss out when I'm gone, because Joe has not practiced that, not even once. Not even one time has Joe practiced that.
I have said it once on the show. What
Man,
are you talking about? Last
no.
time you were gone,
No,
I said it.
I doubt it. So,
What a
hey,
jerk.
but tonight we have a guest. He's a stepdaddy of sorts, I guess.
A dream daddy, if you will.
Oh, you just reminded me. You did that whole Dream Daddy series.
Yeah.
That was hilariously good, man. So we gotta talk about doing another one.
Okay.
So, but this is Dennis Robinson from Lycan Solomon's Odyssey and the Botched D&D podcast and other stuff. He's the world's most KSDM, as you can see on the screen.
That's right. I am indeed. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
What's funny about that is I have it set so if I'm looking away from the screen or from another tab,
sure,
only I hear it, but the computer announces who joined the room, and it's just this stale. Dennis Robinson, the world's most KSDM, has joined. I was like, oh my god,
it sounds about right.
But Joe, you brought Dennis on, actually, technically speaking.
That's true. He did message.
Why don't you introduce your guest?
I sure did. He was talking about his Lycan, and he was like, "People, I need to be a guest." And I was like, "Yes, you do. Join us. And yeah, Dennis is awesome. He's fun.
I appreciate that.
You
guys are awesome too.
You know, I got it's bugging me the way we have the camera set up. That's correct, right there.
This is why I thought he would back at the God King tier.
We'll get to your Kickstarter soon enough. What is the question of the week?
The question of the week is what's the best piece of marriage advice you received early on in your marriage?
So Dennis, we're going to start with you. Was it get a vasectomy at 25?
It was a vasectomy at like 38. Okay, so like you just calm down there, Charles. I mean, it depends on who we're asking, because I've never been married, but my oldest brother, he would say, don't waste your money, just go with the justice of the peace, because he was married like 5 or 6 times. So a lot cheaper.
5 or 6 times.
Yeah, I can't remember how many. It's been too many.
That's too many for sure.
It's his birthday today too, so go figure.
Is he the one that outranked me on the pledge?
No. That's the next brother down. This is my oldest brother, who looks like Sai from Duck Dynasty.
I was gonna go and try to wreck his marriage so he wouldn't be able to afford to pledge at the 1200 level, and then I could take over.
Neither one of them is married, actually. So good luck. You can't. They're impervious.
Joe, what's the piece of advice you got early on?
The best piece of advice that I got early on was if your marriage is on the rocks, you're having some struggles, serve your spouse, like do service for them. It's not going to hurt anything.
Serve them with papers.
Well,
like with a silver platter, right? like breakfast in bed, but it's just divorce papers.
So a lot of marital issues stem from selfishness, in my opinion, when you get to the core of it. And so if you are doing service for your spouse, you're putting them first, and you're hopefully being a little bit less selfish. And that if there's some deep-rooted issues, that's not going to fix it. It really won't. But it's not going to hurt the marriage to put your spouse first for a little while.
And who told you that?
My brother.
He already been married successfully.
Yeah. He he got married 2000, I believe it was. And to a woman that he got set up on a blind date with and proposed to her 3 weeks later.
Wow.
Okay, you need to put that under Daddy Tell Me a Story, because that one has never come up in our conversations. So, I will honestly say, I read a piece of advice when I was a kid that seemed to be funny, and it's okay, but in truth, I didn't get any good advice. All we had around us was people in our ears just literally telling us what to do from their failed standpoints. They weren't like, here's some advice and seriously trying to help. They were just telling dumb things and just whatever. So the advice really that we learned from all that was, for me and Aaron, is me and you against the world. And that's what got us through a whole lot of stuff going.
Yep.
I mean, when I talked about something happened with her truck, short story is somebody else hit her vehicle early on in our marriage, and they weren't moving well enough for us, so we got our insurance involved, and they gave us the best price they could and told me how to look up how they got to the price. I mean, there's nothing to lose on our insurance company side because they're suing the other company, right? They're going after, get there. It's probably gonna get more than they gave us. But the second that we got that and I explained it to her and everything, we both agreed on it. And then like the next day she talked to her brother and her father, and then they're like, no, don't cash that check because I mean, just all this bullshit. Sorry. But all this Bob stuff. There you go. It's all this Bob stuff. Stuff by Bob. Okay. That's when we settled. I was like, no, we don't listen to anybody else. Because nobody lives here and nobody takes care of us like we take care of us. As long as we're on the same page, forget everybody else. And that's helped out a lot. Now, the advice I read as a kid was in a Reader's Digest, and it was a quip, right? It's one of those little jokes they had in there that you'd flip through and find. But it was like that, some daughter was getting married, blah, blah, and she asked her grandmother, what's the success to a long marriage? And this, that, the other, and the grandmother says, you take your list, take a piece of paper, make a list of the 10 things that drive you crazy about them. There's just the worst things that they do. But that's the 10 things you'll forgive them for. And then you throw away the list. And I'm like, all right, yeah, that's kind of interesting. You start, it kind of goes on with what you're saying, Joe. You start with, all right, they do this annoying me, I'll forgive them for that. And then you just don't ever remember the list. So I would say there. What would you say?
I would
Bear?
say that a piece of advice that I have heard and have been given, not just for marriage, but also just for regular relationships, the breakup or the divorce word should be like the very last resort. You don't want to bring that up early, because the moment you put that out there, you've basically almost sealed the fate of the relationship.
Yeah.
Because now that is in the other person's mind as well. So don't say that word.
So what you're
unless
saying,
it's an absolute positive, that's what's going to happen.
When she's annoying you and getting on your nerves, she's like, wait, are you saying we should break up? And you just put it back on her and gaslight her? Is that what you're saying?
Be like, wow, I don't know why you brought that up. Wow. I mean, now that you put it in the universe, I guess we have to. So
yeah, we basically treat the word divorce as a curse word in our house.
Yeah.
We treat it like everything else. We make jokes out of all of it here. I guess it's time to roll some dice.
No, it isn't. We have a speak pipe.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Bob. Is it Bob? Bob's giving the advice.
Bob's giving marriage advice to the 11-year-old? No, it's from my wife.
Hello, wise and nerdy family. Mrs. _ here. The best piece of marriage advice we got early on in our marriage was, I believe, from Joe's oldest brother and his wife, and it was to get the king size bed. That has been so amazing in our marriage.
Yes.
We've slept on queens before, just, visiting places.
It's the worst.
Very, very early in our
The
marriage, we had a queen size bed for 4 months, but then we had our king, and it's been amazing. We love snuggle time, but then we can separate and have our own space for the evening, which has been amazing. We don't roll into each other and wake each other up in the middle of the night. It is the best. So here's the advice. Get the king size bed. Have a great night. Bye.
Yep.
This segment brought to you by Big Fig Mattresses. I own one. They're great. Get the biggest one you can. Say it lasts for a while. And Taco Bell, because I want to get invited to the purple carpet. I didn't get invited. To
I
Live
want a
Mass
Baja
this year.
Blast pie.
No, I don't want the pie, but I absolutely want to go to the Live Moss festival thing that they did and get invited. That bugged me that I wasn't invited. I promote them all the time.
You know what? If you were a God King, maybe you would have gotten invited.
Oh, stop it. But Joe, have y'all gotten to the point where you do separate blankets as well? Or you still do one?
We still will do one blanket. Neither of us really tugs in the middle of the night, so we're good.
There's a fix to that. You just have 6 blankets, and then you're gonna get one of them. Maybe.
My brother and his wife have had separate blankets pretty much their entire marriage because I can't remember which of them. One of them rolls and takes the blanket with them.
We used the same one forever, and then I don't remember who makes it, but somebody came out with this giant 10-foot by 10-foot, kind of not weighted, but semi-weighted blanket. And I thought Aaron would love it for like the couch or whatever. And then she wanted to try it on the bed, and I loved it. She ended up not liking it because it doesn't feel like a quilt. It's very thin, but also somewhat heavy. And so ultimately, well, I'm going to keep it. And that's how we ended up that. We haven't gotten to the spot that some people get to of separate rooms. But there's definitely some nights that both of us can go, separate rooms is not the worst idea you could suggest.
I'm sure early on my wife would have preferred separate rooms because before I got my CPAP, I snored crazy loud. So, yeah.
I know somebody who started out separate rooms, and they're still separate rooms. So whatever.
You know, I've heard okay things about it. It's a weird concept to me. And
Yeah,
there's
same.
been some net. Go ahead and roll the dice, Joe.
Honey, can we push the rooms together tonight?
But there's definitely been some negative things, even not sharing the blankets. There. I mean, there's positives to it. I really do appreciate my blanket, and knowing that I never accidentally get pulled off of or pull it off or whatever, fluff the blanket or anything like that. But you know, it is what it is. All right, Joe, what you got?
We got a 1 or a 4. Which one do you want?
Dennis, what do you want?
4.
All
You
right.
said 6.
Parliament of Papas.
So everybody out there, real quick, we have a poll out there. I know it's on Spotify. I think it's on Patreon. I can't remember if I got it to work on Facebook or not, but we want to hear from you. If we were having the Hunger Games, which district of sections would be cut? Right. And
He's talking about our segments.
yeah, our segment.
Oh, okay.
Which district is going to be?
I was
right?
like, what
which of our
districts?
segments is your favorite?
So bad dad jokes will always say because everybody loves to make me groan. I hate it. But vote for your favorites, right? You can email us. You can give us a call. Over on wiseandnerdy.com/calldad.
Yeah, call us and tell us which is your favorite and why.
The last update was, I think, How Do I has one vote, and Nerding had a vote. I think
Okay.
I put those numbers in last week. Yeah. Yes. What Are You Nerding Out has a vote, and How Do I? So they didn't. I don't know if they had the opportunity to say why they liked it, but those two are there. Because if you don't vote for the right one, we're going to cut it like Squid Games.
And we're not even going to ask for your ID before you vote.
Vote as much as you want. $2.99 a minute.
Yeah.
The old American Idol way. Each text costs $1. Go ahead and vote as many times as you want. All right, so which one? A Parliament to Papa.
Yes, the Parliament of Papas.
Would I be the butt face if I skipped a family event to attend a con? Now, this takes a whole different vibe for Dennis, because not only do you go to Dragon
I've
Con,
done that.
you work cons to sell the comic book.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've literally done that. I've skipped weddings because I'm like,
Oh, how
well,
close.
Ooh,
cousins.
your
I'm
own?
like,
Okay.
I'm like,
Are you getting
okay,
married to your cousin? What a
well,
weirdo.
I'm like, you have to give me a little bit more heads up than like 4 months beforehand, because I book the cons out like a year in advance. So like, can you let me know the year before so I can, reschedule? But as it turns out, that worked out both times. Both of them apparently didn't go. Both of them had some interesting things happen. So
My wife is selling me out. Yeah.
Is this Joe? Is this why we're asking the question tonight? Because Joe is totally missing Sam and Robbie's. I don't know who Sam and Robbie are. Their talent show for Cellarfest, Well, he's doing his own talent show. He's leading by example like a good father should. Also, it's Stellarfest, dude. You barely carry your weight there. I don't even know why you're coming.
Wow. What a jerk.
That's not true. He does a lot of good
New
panels.
idea. Just bring the talent show to Stellarfest as a panel. Boom. Problem solved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get all the kids in a bus. Come on.
So, Joe, okay, how'd that? So here, let me give some background. It was Metro ThamCon. I was like, hey, I'm coming up. They didn't accept Wise and Nerdy. They didn't accept anything with this one panel, and I was coming up there, and Joe had. What'd you had? You had some kind of homeschool dance to go take your boys to or something. You had some basically he wasn't going to skip. He wasn't going to skip whatever thing he's doing with his kids so that we could go eat or something. And then there's been a number of times when we first started talking about the con circuit, Joe's like, man, I don't know. I can't be away from my kids that much. They need me. My wife needs me. I can't. And, he's had some conversations. So I'm just trying to figure out the nice path going from that, where you had to ease into the waters to screw you guys. I'm going to Stellarfest.
Yeah.
So no story. You're not going to talk about how you got no iconic words for your children to latch onto at your deathbed. Come on, man.
In that specific instance, I wasn't invited, and I know that I could have met up with you briefly or whatever, because I don't know what it was. It might have been camping. I don't remember the timing of it. But yeah, so I wasn't participating in that convention. So
that's true. Yeah,
I had made other plans. Whereas with Stellarfest, we've known that we were going to be going to Stellarfest since last year.
Yeah,
that was already planned. The talent show was planned like a month ago or 6 weeks ago. So
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but that Kelsey does let me go to them a lot more often, and she puts in the chat why. So for a while there, because my two oldest are only 2 years apart, so we had two kids under 2, and she was, quote unquote, drowning. And so I felt really, really guilty trying to go to conventions. So
have we been doing conventions that long?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you and I have been podcasting together for 10 years.
Oh, well, I know that, but I didn't think we started doing. Well, I guess we did. Your first Dragon Con was right as we launched
2017.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh, that was our first one too.
Yeah. And so, early on when the kids were that young, it put a lot of strain on my wife to be gone for Dragon Con. And so for those first 6, 7 years, 8 years, we only went to I only went to Dragon Con. It's only been within the past few years, 3 years, about 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah. And we've branched out and we're doing more conventions because the kids are a little bit older, they're more independent, they don't take as much constant observation to make sure they don't trip and fall down a flight of stairs or something like that. So yeah, the kids, there's less chance of them killing themselves.
Here's the quote of the night. Okay, that's the quote of the night. They have less chance of killing themselves. The second quote of the night was what I hit you with pre-show, where we're talking about something like, they can't learn if they don't have a little pain, man. You only fall down the stairs once. Either you survive it and you learn, or you don't. 90% chance they're going to survive it. It's fine.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of people who fall down the stairs and they don't learn.
Kids, well, yeah, but your kids are okay. They'll learn. So Malachi, are you listening, Malachi? Look at me. You're now the man of the house when he goes to the cons. All right, mow the grass, take care of the bills. You'll be all right. So I'm more like Dennis, where I still do work a lot of cons. I guess I'm the butt face because we always had, my wife's family has always been nearby. I mean, whether we wanted to or not, my family's been nearby, but I've always, as long as I can remember, since I've been a podcasting, been going to cons essentially. Maybe, I mean, my kids were little. I've missed anniversaries for it because there were certain conventions that were always right there the first week in January that I was going to, and it helped. I mean, it got me work and it got me further in the career that I wanted. I never felt like, 'cause I always talked to my wife about it. That was my thing. I think Kelsey had said earlier that communication is key. Is we'd always talked about all of it, about the money, about the timing, about the travel. Um, but I think also it was a different life. I never really worked not really never worked the 9 to 5 to where I was home every night and weekends off. It was, if I was gone, I was gone. And sometimes it's 24 hours, sometimes it's 48 hours. And it was just, that's the way life was because I was working on the ambulance and you never knew which weekend. Well, we knew, but weekends became nothing. And so it's like whenever we had 2 days off, that was the time we had off together type of deal. So it kind of lends a little bit difference to it there. Malachi says, nope, I've changed my mind about being the man of the house.
you mentioned mowing the lawn, and he's like, nope, I'm done. I'm out.
Time to get a job.
Yeah. Hey,
got bills to pay.
Little side note, my 14-year-old might be getting a job as a bag boy here soon.
Oh, nice.
He was at the store with his mom the other day, and the manager's like, hey, does he need a job? And they're like, he looks older. And he does. He looks older than he is. So he's like, no, he's only 14. She's like, no, that's fine. We need kids. We need people. Here,
we need the children.
14? Yeah. Oh, we're going to put them behind the bar.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Dennis, did you get any kind of grief from your family for missing anything?
No, nobody cared.
I will
if I don't show up, nobody cares. It's fine.
Now, I am sure that my wife got grief from my in-laws and stuff about it, but she and I were always on the same page, or I didn't go, so I never got grief from her.
There was one con 2 years ago where, so my dad, for those that don't know, only has one working eye left. He's over, what is he now? 72 years old. And he still runs his own business. It's an excavation company. And so he started losing the sight in his other eye. So they decided to do like a company anniversary party. It was like a wonky year. It was like 53 years of, the company or something like that.
Sure.
And so that was the same day as a convention that I had. So I went to the convention for the first few hours and then left and went to the, to the shindig. So I didn't miss that, but luckily that convention was only an hour away. So it lended to be able to do that, but that ended up being awkward for other reasons afterwards.
Yeah. And when they're local, like for me, Stellar Fest is local. I just come home every night at the end of the night. And my wife basically plans for me to be gone the whole time. So I mean, I fully believe you can have let me rephrase. I fully believe you have the life that you build. And from early on, I built a life with Aaron based around performance and hustling and traveling to do all those things and being poor all at the same time. So we made sure to keep it poor for a long time. I'm still keeping it there just to keep my roots, right?
Gotta stay humble.
Yeah. But you absolutely, like when I met Joe, he was not a podcaster. He was somebody participating in the show. Definitively, you could say he's still not he is a podcaster because he puts the work in. And that's something we don't talk about enough is the behind the scenes. He works on this show. He doesn't just show up and have a pretty face. He's built that life and it's taken time. And that's when you start comparing things, and you probably shouldn't, but I've talked about, apparently I'm one of the early birds in the podcasting, because everybody I've talked to that I thought was already in podcasting when I started, they started after I did. So that is something that as it built, the world changed slowly. We got to work on that for years. And then when Joe met me, not physically met me, but when we met the other one, Bo. When we met Bo, I was at a conference with Brian Ibbett as my partner. And we were already working things together then. So it's like I already built up to that life, and then Joe jumped in the pond. And so it's a path you want to take or not take. Phil, Dennis's hetero life mate doesn't do any cons except Dragon Con.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the way things
Once
go.
you count markets as a con.
No, not at all.
It's like a fruit
Not at
con.
all.
It's a convention for your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
okay. I love this. So go ahead and roll the dice. But Kelsey says it's kind of funny. We've stayed. I think it says started a new homeschool co-op this year. At every event so far, Joe's been at a convention, so he's my imaginary husband at the moment until he can make it to something. That's almost as good as one. I never met the other kid's mom. I do not care. My wife didn't even want to meet the other kid's parents. She just wants the kids to have fun together. But she used to back in the first hustle. The mom, oh, what does your husband do? What does your husband do? And she's like, I don't know. He tells people to pay him, and they do. I was like, that's either mafia or media, one of the two. What did we get, Joe?
So we got a 5. We can go to the commercial break, or I can roll again. What do you want?
You know what? We're gonna do a quick commercial plug right here with Dennis Robinson. Dennis, I'm gonna get you a little bit of some mood music here. Some slow wolf jazz, if you will. Let's
real groovy.
Slow wolf jazz for the Ewok.
That's right.
There we go. Got some nature sounds.
It
Go ahead and talk about what you're here to promote. Barely one.
So right now, running on Kickstarter, if you're like werewolves and Egyptian history, find yourself over on Kickstarter.com and check out Lycan, Solomon's Odyssey, chapter 1 through 4. Check it out before the end of March.
All right, Joe.
Namaste.
Joe, what's something that's bugging you today?
You are, Charles. You've been a jerk all this whole time.
All right, we're gonna breathe in. All we're gonna have is a good time, and breathe out. Charles is a jerk face, but he's hilarious. Dennis, I got one for you. This is a dad motivations. We're gonna breathe in. I'm gonna forget about bankruptcy. It's not a real thing. And I'm gonna breathe out. Lycan gets signed by Netflix this year. And then again for Casey J in Australia, we're gonna breathe in. Man, it's bloody hot out here. And we're gonna breathe out. Gentle parenting is the best parenting. Now let's chill out for a minute, everybody. Calm down. It ain't that bad. F them kids.
All right, how many people fell asleep?
I want to see if I can take like that exact groove with that's so peaceful, and then just make it out of all traffic sounds instead. And Devo, I gotta here. I'll make a note about the media mafia. He says Charles is the leader of the media mafia. I somewhat single-handedly took them down, but I'll tell that story in the Patreon.
Okay.
All right. What business do we have? So I know we got some questions coming up and everything else. What do we got?
We do. So the question of the week for April 2nd, the day after April Fool's Day, is what childhood film scarred you the most?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And we're not talking about what film you saw in your childhood that scarred you because you watched it way too early. We're talking about this is an actual childhood film, like a film meant for children that scarred you.
Oh,
I got like 3 or 4 coming. The newer generation, they got a lot of softies in the film business.
Ain't nothing.
Oh, look, you boomers! Don't bring that hate to my show. But I will say this: I don't know if anybody out there knows this trauma, and this is not a movie. It's not going to fall in that category. But I as a homeschool Baptist kid, Salty, the hymn dude, it was an animation. Salty,
dude.
Salty, yeah. It's not the hymn dude. Salty's something other. Salty's praise songs and whatever. And they did a live action one where there's a dude dressed as a hymnal with a big purple human face sticking out of the hole of the hymnal.
Oh, Salty with a P.
Yeah, Salty with a P, like Psalms. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like the
I was
Bible, Bible
where?
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. PSALTY. All of it. All the animation, the live action, all of it.
I can think of one.
Scarred me.
I got one.
Malachi, you need to watch Salty. Your dad will allow it, but it'll make you tough. It'll make you see things that no one else should ever see in life.
My trauma is a different kind of trauma. Mine's more depressing trauma. Mine was All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Is that why you dress like a dead dog for this show?
And then you hear the story of behind the scenes, and it makes it even worse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I had to think about it. Don't ruin it for people. You can enjoy your movie.
Go Google.
All right, but that's coming up in April 2nd. Do we have any speak pipes?
Yes, but they're both bad dad jokes.
Okay. All right.
If you want to ruin someone's childhood movie, you just tell them to go watch or read up on the behind the scenes of Milo and Otis.
Oh no!
I don't want to read behind the scenes on anything in the 90s, especially
If you're familiar with that
animals.
movie, there's a lot of scenes where there's puppies and kittens and there's large carnivorous animals
I had Mr.
nearby.
Ed ruined for me. So I believe as a kid that horse did talk. You know?
Sure you did, Charles.
Sure.
You were eating your
I
paint
did.
chips while you watched.
Roll that dice.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh my god.
Well,
All right.
3 it is.
3
Trace
is
like
indeed.
Chase.
How do I?
Drink a Four Loco. Oh. Okay. Side note. My son Oakland is turning 21 this month.
Oh my god, I feel so
And
old.
he wants to have oh, that's right, because the first year he came drinking on, he was like 12, and he came with
Yeah.
me, and he mic dropped he did the intro for you guys, and mic
Yeah.
dropped, and it's not recorded, and I didn't get to see it. And it
Yeah.
just, but yeah, 21. Should I hit him with a Four Loco, Dennis?
No, that's so mean.
I know, right? He wants to
Give
try
him-
a Twisted
Well,
Tea.
I mean,
Give him a
if
Malort.
you give him
Joe.
Oh, that's worse. It could be. I mean, it could be worse than that. My nephew, when he turned 21, now he was already pretty toasted at that point, and he'd been drinking for a while. But we went to the bar, and he handed the bartender like $40 or $50 and said, "Give me a shot of whatever you want." And the dude gave him a shot of the cheapest vodka with mayonnaise one time.
Oh,
I was like, I want to hit you so hard right
No.
now. He just wanted to pocket the rest of that money. Is all that was.
Okay. So yeah, I can be mean. I'm not going to be mean.
I think
Okay.
1 Four Loco's not going to kill him. Like, he'll be very tipsy, but I don't think he'll be like destroyed.
I kind of want to destroy him and then leave him somewhere strange for him to wake up, so he won't want to do it anymore.
Well, then you give him 2
Okay.
because they go down real easy, and after 2, he'll be done. Like, that's that. Goodbye.
Okay.
It can't be any
Um,
worse than when I turned 21 and
so-
actually drank for the first time.
I don't. We should have like the largest dad audience in the world, because you're either gonna get good advice from us, or you're gonna go, holy crap, I'm a great father compared to these doofuses. And by all means, either way you
Twisted
listen,
tea is
we'll
a
take it.
solid choice, though. It's not that much alcohol. It's tasty. It's fine.
Yeah, you drink the Twisted Teas, yeah,
I love twisted teas.
yeah. I'll get him. Anyway,
Phil,
Give him,
Phil
give him the half and halves.
almost got me at DragonCon this past year.
The
He
Mountain
handed me
Dew
a-
ones.
Mountain Dews.
He handed,
Yeah.
Well, no, he
Yeah.
handed me a Twisted Tea, and I didn't realize what it was at first.
Oh.
So I grabbed it, I looked at it, and I was like, "This
Wait a
ain't right."
Wait a second.
Wait a minute. Something's wrong here.
And after he downed 2 of them, he realized he should
Yeah.
read the can first.
Yeah.
The first one, I don't know from the first one.
This is
Let me
good
try
tea.
another one.
It's good tea. I like
Yeah.
this tea. It's good.
All right, how do I? So thank you for giving me a bonus. How do I, teach my son lessons in life?
Yeah.
And now we're to ask, how do I resist letting others' opinions overly affect me? And I think that's when I actually personally wrote into the thing, because I have known in my life, there's times I'm like, oh man, I really like this thing. And then somebody goes, that's the dumbest thing ever because of XYZ. And I even though I don't believe what they said, I find that their opinion kind of takes some of the joy out of what I'm doing. Or sometimes I just, like, there's been times where I thought Erin would love something. I got excited about it, I share it with her, and she hated it for whatever reason. And it just killed it for me. I stopped liking it too. Not because I decided with her, but it
Disappointment.
made you look at it in a different light or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're jumping in, Dennis. I figured you would, because with the comic book writing, we
Oh, yeah.
both have a mutual friend who's a gremlin. He tried to kill the book, pre-birth.
He still tries to kill it.
And still
to
tries
this
to
day.
Yeah, he's still trying to do a post-birth abortion on that
Yeah,
book.
he's still
crazy.
trying.
So and then you've got your shows that you do, the performances that you do, and then the selling and that's a performance on its own too. So how do you resist letting those people, when somebody picks up your book, goes, "This is dog crap," and put it down? I mean, how do you not let that affect you?
Mostly I'm just insanely stubborn, but it does affect me to some extent. So I have two separate stories, both revolving around the book. When I first started writing the book and Charles read these versions, which was why he was executive producer originally anyways, I wrote these scripts because I didn't know how to write a comic, but the idea was just to get the story out there and get people's opinions and then sort of refine it from there. And our mutual friend Shanda Panda put me in touch with a comic creator named Henri Kumpen, and then he put me in touch with his original editor. And so I sent over this stuff to this editor, and he said, "Cool, I read it. There's nothing redeemable about this story whatsoever. Not the characters, not the story, nothing.
Dude.
But you can pay me $1,800 and I'll teach you how to write a different, better story." And
yeah, I remember you telling me.
yeah, and it was at that point that I was probably the closest to giving up on it. And what ended up, because I literally even texted Shannon, I was like, "Hey, I'm not even gonna do these books anymore, but like, here's the plot line for the rest of the series, just so that way, whatever." And so she talked to Henri at a party and explained what happened. And then she elevator pitched the book. And then Henri drunkenly called me and said, "Hey, send me the scripts." And he read them and he said, "Well, okay, I see what the problem is. You don't know what you're doing." He's like, "You just need someone to show you how to do it."
Yeah.
He's like, "Because you didn't write it like any particular thing. It's kind of like a book and it's kind of like a comic. You don't know how to write a script. So I'll teach you how to write a script." And then he did. And now, I'm 4 books in and the first book has won awards and I'm internationally published. So, that worked out. Second story, very recent, actually. So Charles knows this. Last year I was dealing with trying to get a publisher in Spain. And there was a lot of really fishy things going on with one of the people on the team that was the most closely involved with said deal. And so I was very apprehensive at the time because everything we're taught here in the US is that everybody's always trying to steal from you and you have to be very careful. I mean, this person was asking for things like, "Hey, email me the entire team's social security numbers," stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is all like super red flags and all this other stuff. So I was very distrustful and it hurt his feelings at the time because he was, trying to work hard to get the book published
He could not comprehend where Dennis was coming from.
Could not at all get what I was talking about or coming
apparently
from. Like,
in parts of Europe, it's just common to go,
it's just completely different over there, I guess. Yeah. So I was watching a YouTube show that filmed on Friday, but the translation finally came through on Monday, and it's in Spain, and it had my artist and my colorist and just 3 fans of the book that are over there that do comic book reviews. And, it went for 2 hours and they were talking about how much they love the book and how much they want to see the book. The other books come over there in Spain because they only have the one right now. And they asked, the host asked the 2 artists a question. They said, "What is it like working with Dennis?" And Ezekiel answered first, and Ezekiel's the colorist. And he goes, "It's fine. I like working with Dennis. I don't really interact with him very much because I don't speak or read English. So we deal with like an intermediary. So like his friend does. So I interact with his friend and then his friend interacts with him." But the other person was like, "Dennis is fine, but he's way too paranoid because he thought I was trying to steal his book from him when doing the thing." And so I was like a little bit hurt because I was like, well, A, why would you bring that up in this interview when you're talking about working with me? But then B, like, you're still upset about that and you just do not understand my viewpoint. But I felt bad because I could tell how much it hurt his feelings. And seeing him, because it was, video, so I could see his face and whatnot. So I could see, how much it hurt his feelings. And I felt really bad about it. So I messaged him and I was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry that, I'm paranoid at times. I had my reasons, but I just wanted to say, I'm like I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm just very overly protective of the project." And he basically doubled down on what he had already said. And he's like, but it's fine. Whatever. Everybody has their faults. I said, okay. In hindsight, if presented with that situation again, like if you put me back in that situation, I would have reacted the exact same way.
Yeah.
Because it was super fishy at the time. Everybody I talked to about it was like, this is the fishiest thing ever. Yeah. But it ended up working out to be okay. It just, at the time, like, it was giving me all the red flags. And I've seen too many horror stories in the US, like Alan Moore, lost, was it The Watchmen, I think it was, because he didn't read the fine print where it said in perpetuity. So he lost his IP forever. No. And like, that's the number one story everybody talks about in comics is like, hey, if you're going to sign a contract, don't get Alan Moore. So things like that, usually like personal stuff is what really bothers me and gets me down. How I get through that, it's just a matter of just trying to, it's going to bother me because I'm somebody who lets that stuff bother me. Yeah. But it's just a matter of it'll fade over time, I assume.
Let's talk about, so when you first started writing those scripts and you didn't know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
You shelved it actually for a while, and then you came to Dragon Con, and Dragon Con just filled you with that energy and excitement to create again, and you dusted it off and started writing, and immediately some of your closest friends were crapping on it and making fun of you about it.
Oh yeah, on stream.
But what made you go, no matter what, now's the time. I'm still going to put in all the work, and I'll just find my path.
Mostly support from people that I care about. Like Shanda Payne at the time was like really, really adamant about like, I really think this could be something good. She elevator pitched it to people like, what's his name? It's the guy who invented Thanos. Oh God, I can't remember his name. Jim Starlin? No, I can't remember. No, it's the guy who invented Thanos in the Marvel universe.
Jim Starlin.
Jim Starlin. So like pitched it to his agent. He was like, yeah, no, if I'm still working when that book comes out, you let me know and I'll pitch it to a studio. Like, stuff like that. And hearing that sort of thing, like made me feel a lot better.
Good.
And having, Henri, who's sold a crap ton of books, read what I had and say, okay, here's the thing. You just don't know what you're doing. I will teach you how to do it. And basically learning how, because the plan was basically, I'm just going to try this and see what happens. And then I did the first book and everybody seemed to like it, except for Phil. And, well, I'm just kidding. He's never read any of the books.
That's true. That is true. We had to read it for him to listen to it.
The original script. He hasn't read the new books.
That's true. God,
so
it's so funny.
But yeah, so it's one of those things where I only got through it just because I had the support of other people and people telling me like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Like recently I've been having money issues that Charles knows about.
Yeah.
And Shannon, I was doing a show in Fredericksburg, Virginia last weekend, and I was staying with Shannon. She's like, I'm telling you, 2 years. Just give me 2 years. I was like, okay. So we'll see. But
I mean, sometimes you just gotta slow down on the gas. You might not pedal as hard, but it doesn't die. That's true. Even when I went through my bankruptcy and lost my house and everything, the shows went on, and because I knew this was a moment in time, my creativity will keep going.
Yeah.
But I'll still take a punch for every now and then when I have something I believe in, and then somebody close to me or craps on it. Random internet people, they don't get to me, but somebody that's like, if I showed, if I wrote a comic book and I sent it to Dennis and he's like, love you, dude, but this is crap, it would hurt my feelings, but it might also be crap because I would send it to him because he already knows what he's doing. What about you, Joe?
Well, no, I'm in the same boat with you. Like when we would do those streams and they would just like pull up the first versions of the script and they would just make fun of it the whole time. Like that was like gut punch after gut punch. And I just had to smile and bear it.
And that's why you wear a bear suit today.
And that's why I wear a bear suit.
Yeah. So, okay, I keep ragging on it. Keep telling him not to wear it. An ex-girlfriend bought him this hoodie from Universal Studios.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be a werewolf, like the old-fashioned werewolf.
It has scratch marks.
And scratch marks.
That's the only clue that it's a werewolf.
But when they made this stupid thing, because it would be okay if it had the ears right. If they got
teddy bears, they need to be pointed.
Those are rounded bear ears, not pointed wolf ears.
They need to be pointed. I don't know why.
They need to stand up and not be floppy.
Well, they used to stand up after you put them through the wash and dry.
Age. Gotcha.
That's right. 1 in 10 werewolves can't keep their ears up anymore.
All right.
But if they stand up for more than 4 hours, you got to call a doctor. So
So, Joe, how do you keep your vision when people are poo-pooing on it?
So you can get criticized for just about anything. And if it's something that you're first starting off at, you just got to expect that you're going to be bad at it. But as long as you persevere and keep trying, you're going to get better. And so I would just take it as a challenge that to do better. And, the question was, how do I not let other people's opinions overly affect me? Because there's times where people will tell you something that's hard for you to hear, but it's coming from a place of love. And so I guess the first thing I'd want to know is, are they saying it to cut me down, or are they saying it to help me? And if they're saying it to help me, then I should pay attention and see if there's anything valid there in that criticism. But if it's coming from a place of hate, just ignore it.
Right. And I even think of another one. I am not a fear-based person. And when somebody who's blatantly afraid of something or something's fear-based, it sets off all my attack modes because I hate it. But I do tend to work with people who are fear-based. And while they try to be better about it, when COVID first came around, nobody knew what it was, right? I'm the kind of guy that's like, okay, cool. I'll go home. Somebody's going to figure out. That's how the world works. Somebody's going to figure out. It's not a big deal. But before we got sent home and all that, I was working with people who were panicking about it and just up and down and up and down. As much as I say, hey, we all work in medicine. We all know that this stuff they're talking about is not 100% true because there's no facts, because CDC hasn't even done anything, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. I still absorbed a lot of that fear. So then when I came home after a while, I mean, I'd come home every night, but after a while, something was going on with my wife's family. Like I think her grandfather was in hospice on his deathbed, and she's talking about driving down there. And I'm going, you can't. And I mean, I'm feeling this whole, not that I'm afraid she's going to get COVID, but that at that point they were having cops pull people over to find out why they're out and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't, because I know her, and I know how she is with her family, and I know some redneck cop pulls her over, somebody's getting shot. Yeah. So yeah. And she ignored me. And then we talked about it, and she's like, we got the fear away. But it's that everybody else's fear just got on me. It's like, how, and all I can tell myself is I keep trying to acknowledge it when it happens. I keep trying to go, that's never who I am. Who I am is this person who thinks this way or feels that way. And that's it. You just keep trying. Those little puppies got to go to market. Apparently, you got the Jan's buddy boy. Did you get?
No, it's because I have the flu.
Did you eat some chocolate? Don't eat chocolate.
Dark chocolate,
it's bad for you.
It's not silver that kills werewolves. It's dark chocolate.
Which is ironic because Lupin, he's all about giving people chocolate, and he was a vampire. He was a vampire.
So close. Roll them dice.
All right. We got a 2.
What is it good for?
Story time.
Wow, so sad. He sounded so sad. We finally get him back on the show, and he can't even be happy about it. Jesus.
Wow.
Every time, man. because I would have done it to his face.
Yeah,
because that's how we were. All right, okay, Joe, would you like to start this one off?
Yeah. So I didn't know how to phrase this, but basically, tell me a story about pre-con and post-con, especially with Dragon Con, because I see people mentioning all the time about they're so excited, especially in the week before Dragon Con, they can't even think straight at work and things like that. And then after Dragon Con, they talk about the post-con blues and things like that. So much so that like Scott, who used to be the second with the Digital Media Track, he would take the next week off from work after Dragon Con just to chill and relax and decompress. Yeah. And so
plus most times when you get home from con, you're going to be sick anyways. So
only you, Dennis. Some of us
just
actually
once.
take our vitamins and wash your hands.
I got COVID from wasn't it Devo that gave me COVID?
I don't know about
he had COVID that year that I got. That was the only year I've ever gotten COVID. He gave it to me, I think.
Interesting, because I rode in and out with Devo and I didn't get it.
I don't think it was Devo.
He sat next to me on the panel. That's all I
think
know.
you're kissing wrong people, sir. Is all I'm saying. So I have early ones. Dragon Con's never done that for me. Dragon Con was always a boost to my spirit, and I just always kind of kept going up and up because I was creating media, so it all has the same feel for me there. But when I was really getting my feet underneath me early on, as hit my 100th episode, we had these posters made up for the show, little posters that I could travel with, and I went to my first big podcast convention, and feeling like a rock star there. Not that people necessarily recognize me, but as soon as I started talking about, hey, this is a show I do, or just do my thing in front of people like I do normally now at Dragon Con, it was the first time I got to just, hey, this is who I am. And they were loving it. And it's like the world is full of colors, like what dreams may come. You got all the art and then I go back to work, and in my cubicle is one of those posters from my show to remind me, like, man, I hit this milestone, whatever. And it's like Severance. It was gray and cold and miserable. And I was like, I'll never feel like this again. And so I found ways to I just keep touching on things and participating in events and different things that have that same energy for me. What about you, Dennis?
So for me, it's actually a bit wonky. So Dragon Con used to be my favorite time of year. I would get excited like a week beforehand. And whether or not it'd be peppy, that's another story, because I'm not really a peppy guy, but whatever. But I would be, very excited to see everybody and do all the things. And then usually about Monday is when I would crash, and I would be exhausted for the next 2 days or 3 days in some instances. But now that I do cons as like a side business, I feel like it's kind of taken some of the magic away from Dragon Con, because I see how the sausage is made.
Yeah, sure.
And like, I already do cons. So I'm like, I'm looking at a con, and I'm looking at it like from logistical standpoint, the setup, the breakdown,
Yep.
all that stuff. So I don't get as much out of Dragon Con as I used to, which is kind of a sad byproduct of doing those shows. And I've never even vended really at Dragon Con. Like I've never had a vendor table.
Well, you're not going to start this year.
Nope, not starting this year either, apparently. So it's kind of a weird thing where it used to be my favorite thing ever. And then maybe like 2022, 2023, that's when it started to get a little weird for me and just kind of lost a little bit of its luster. And then normal cons are just whatever. They're just straight business to me these days. The only excitement I get out of cons is when I go to non-Comic Cons, because you never know what weird crap you're going to see. Like the show this weekend, I already know is going to have some weird stuff, because it's a lot of the same people that I saw 2 weeks ago in Pittsburgh for the World Oddities Expo. And literally, if I turned my head out of my table, there was a booth where they sold lamps, but they were made of heads. Like just weird stuff, like cool stuff, but weird. Yeah, and like that's every vendor, like almost every vendor selling. I was the only person selling comic books, I can tell you that. Everybody else was selling just kind of weird stuff, and it was neat. It's cool. Bone art, bone necklaces. Somebody selling bondage gear. They were like, "Oh, this is my first convention. I just started. I'm a leather worker," and I was like, "You know what? I'm going to start making these S&M stuff, and it's been doing great." I said, "All right." I said, "Is your booth the one on the end?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "I noticed that when I was going to the food court." I was like, "Oh, okay. There's one of those there."
Joe and I saw people getting tattoos for the first time at the last con we were at.
Oh, that's a lot of cons. I get a lot of horror shows.
Yeah, I knew that from some of the stuff
artists
you had shared, but this is the first time I'd been at a con that they did it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I had never been at a con that they had people tattooing right there.
Yeah.
We have a show up here. Well, I mean, I have a show that I go to called the Central PA Tattoo and Horror Expo. So, I mean, the one whole floor is all about tattooing. But like Monster Mania, for instance, they have a big vendor hall, and one little like maybe 50 by a couple 100 feet is all tattoo artists behind a curtain. So, that's the thing.
Now, you said seeing how the sausage is made, it kind of took the magic away from you. I'm all about the sausage, man.
Oh, I love to know how things are made. It's just for whatever reason,
I see it on
Dragon Con had like a little bit of magic to it, and now it's kind of been.
And so for me, it just made it more.
It's like seeing the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain.
Yeah,
it's just a dude.
Because you were talking about how the cons are just business for you. But that's
Yeah.
everything I do is just, I can't turn off my producer brain. I always are
Sure.
seeing, I can kind of figure out how they did this or that, or so it just makes me more excited to be behind the curtains. Joe, you've been doing cons. We just found out about 10 to 12 years now, give or take. What about your pre and post con? Can you focus, or and how did it change? I do want to know, how did it change from like the first time you, or the second time you came, because the first time you didn't know what you were getting into, the second time you did, to now where you help really build what we do.
Yeah, the first time I had I had a very, very minute idea of what I was getting into with Dragon Con. But the second time especially, I had the app downloaded. I was going through the whole schedule, deciding what I wanted to see, and I got overzealous that second year. I waited out in front of a bunch of panels for an hour or two just to see people.
Not make it, or did you make it or not make it?
No, I made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and after that first year, I sometimes try to go to some of the bigger panels, but I don't stress about not making it. Like I'll show up 5 minutes into it and see, and just look to see if there's seating. If there's not, I'll walk away. If there is, awesome. And you know, I don't waste time in lines as much anymore. Even like the vendor hall, I would walk up, and depending on who was running it, you could be like, hey, I'm a volunteer, can I get on in, because I got to get back to volunteering soon. And you know, half the time that would work. Nowadays, since I've been volunteering enough, I get a pass, so I can skip the line.
Oh, nice.
Legitimately.
Yeah,
nowadays.
over 5 years. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which they only started that a couple years ago, where that was a perk of being a volunteer for 5 or more years. And so yeah, I definitely feel afterwards mostly just tired from because we're working the con. We're not just
well, what about
normal
like
con-goers, but I definitely feel
Southern
tired.
Fried or something where we do our shows? What about that kind of thing? Do you get excited? What's your pre and post con for that kind of show?
So it depends on which con, because like Con Nougat, the energy just wasn't there, and I was like, eh. But Stellar Con or Conjuration, now that we've been going, those are some of my favorite smaller cons that we attend. Stellar Fest is fun for what it is, but
But you're a magic boy.
Well, so or sorry, did I said Stellar Fest? I meant Southern Fried. Southern Fried Gaming Expo is nice for what it is. There's a definite emphasis on the gaming, which, you know, that's what it's supposed to be. But they put a ton, at least when the vibe that I've gotten, they put a ton of emphasis on that gaming room with all the pinball machines and everything. And pinball's okay, but it's never been really my thing. But they have like half of that room dedicated to pinball machines, which is awesome to see. You just don't stay too long or I'll get a headache with all the, all the
concrete
noise.
walls. Dennis, concrete walls in a huge warehouse basically situation, and pinball machines with the volume and arcades.
Yep. Yeah, that's gotta be fun.
Oh yeah, no, you have to be right up next to somebody to hear them talking.
I would imagine, yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean they're doing the best they can with the space they've got.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a fun con to go to. And the panels, while a bit of an afterthought, they've got enough people to fill them pretty well at Southern Fried Gaming Expo. And so the vibe of the con, when you first walk in, you can usually pick up on how the con's going to go within the first 20 minutes. And Southern Fried, it's got a decent vibe. Con Nougat, not so much. And Stellar Fest and Conjuration, you know, if anyone's in the Atlanta area and wants to go to a smaller con, it is awesome. The people there are super nice. They're super personable, and it is a great beginner con in my opinion. Those two, they're run by the same people and they're at the same location. Just one is science fiction focused, and one is fantasy focused. And
I was always told Dennis that if it wasn't such a long commute, like the driver, I wouldn't fly it even, but it wouldn't offset his travel. But if it's a close con to him, he would kill there. He would sell so many books there, I think.
It had similar vibes to Chattacon, although Chattacon had an older audience than Stellarfest and Conjuration.
I've certainly seen all kinds of different conventions, as Charles can say. Seen conventions where there's more vendors than there are attendees.
Yeah. And you can hear all of those stories if you go to patreon.com/hiveheadstudios.
It's a true story.
We've been working on, he asked me, I guess 3 or 4 years ago now, it doesn't feel that long, but it's like, hey, I do updates on my Patreon for the book. You want to come talk to me about it? And I skipped a few, and you rubbed my nose in it, and then I haven't missed since. And it's a fun talk. And we talk the business of putting the book together, the Kickstarters, the conventions. It's a lot of fun stories.
Yeah, we've had 134 episodes come out so far.
Wow.
It's not always weekly because it just depends on how much time I have.
Yeah.
But it's mostly weekly.
It's one of those scenarios where I said something stupid, going, "Oh, this is the dumbest thing ever." He goes, "That's what we're naming the
Like
show."
and subscribe. Except I've had many people comment and say, "Hey, if you ever do a podcast, you should name it Like and Subscribe." I'm like, well, funny enough.
Yeah, that's why I've called the Rock God podcast. So I think we should knock out the bad dad jokes and then finish with nerding out.
Oh, before I forget, Joe, did Charles tell you that somebody threw milk at me at the grocery store the other day?
No.
Yeah. How dare he? He hates that joke.
So much.
Hates that joke.
And here, I thought you were just making a reference to a few years ago when Botched had milk thrown all over the place.
Was it thrown all over the place, or did we drink shots out of Steve's udders?
I don't want to know.
Because they were white Russians. It wasn't even really all milk. They were white Russians.
It was utterly ridiculous.
That's right. That's right. Syringes for udders. They were health potions, Charles. We were healing.
Sure.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That's Hammond Chamberlain's favorite joke on our show is the bovine born, because they're otherwise known as cowboys.
Wow.
Oh, Botched.
Yep.
Fun times. All right, we got a couple of speak pipes that are dad jokes. So let's hear what we got.
Hi, I'm Bob. And for the Groans with Charles section, I got 3 bad Bob jokes. I couldn't figure out why the baseball kept getting larger. Then it hit me. This one's for Charles. What did the full glass say to the empty glass? You look drunk. What did the lunchbox say to the refrigerator? Don't hate me because I'm a little cooler. Those are just a few bad Bob jokes. See you next week for some more Groans with Charles.
I've never had a kid threaten me as much as he does. He tells me every week. He tells me he's coming back. I'm like, one of these days, kid, would you like Tracy Morgan and punch you?
So, the talent show that I'm going to be missing because we'll be at Stellarfest. He's doing a bad dad joke comedy routine for the talent show.
Okay, so Kelsey needs to record some video or audio because we know how to get the audio off the video, so we can play. I want to get some good audience reactions to him doing that and see how it goes.
Oh yeah,
so
it'll be fun. All right,
and then I want to critique the crap out of it, just break his soul,
tear it apart.
But just remember, from our last segment, you don't need to let others' opinions overly affect you.
Pain makes strength. Bob. Pain makes strength.
Oh man! All right, we got one more bad dad joke speak pipe.
Mrs. Underscore with a groans with Charles. I'm so sorry, but I heard this one this week and I had to share. Okay, ready?
No.
Last night I had a dream that I was drowning in a sea of orange soda. It was a fantasy. All right. Have a good night. Bye.
I heard one this week, but I can't remember it. So, but the milk one is the one that I know Charles hates more than anything else because he thought I was being serious the first time I.
Yeah, the first time. Yeah, you're
Oh,
so
man.
great. So hey, guess what? This week I am nerding out about an early access game. It's going to surprise nobody that I am in love with Slay the Spire 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as I've talked about on the show, the first one, I still have it on my phone. I still off and on play it constantly. I've gotten certain ascensions and all this other stuff and loved it. Slay the Spire 2. It's full price, so early access is not like a discount or anything. It's not a beta test.
Sure.
It is, but it's just one of those things saying, hey, this is our soft launch. Things do go wrong. Here's exactly how you find the button easily to report any issues and whatever. That's
a please pay us, but there's gonna be bugs. But please pay us.
Please pay us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happily in this case.
It's called
Happily.
We don't need game testers anymore because we have Charles McFall who'll do it for us while paying.
It. Wait, I think they got that idea from you, Dennis.
Probably.
They learned it from you.
What? You're an executive producer of Slay the Spire 2, Charles.
I would say executive. I might be a bottom line producer just by having bought it. But no, man, the art is so fantastic. They've expounded on the core gameplay. That was amazing. Which, if you've never played it, is a roguelike, which is everything just resets when you die. And you do some unlocks and you have to do so many things to get some. But every time you start, you have a deck of cards. And there's in the first game, there's 4 different characters and blah, blah, blah. And you have to do so many things to unlock the next one. And ultimately, you build this nice big deck that changes every time you play because you get offered 3 cards after every battle to pick from. So you're just making your own way through. It's amazing. And
I just pieced together why you like Dominion so much.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think about that, but 100%.
Are you talking about the board game Dominion?
The board game
Yeah.
Dominion.
Yeah, because it's a deck builder.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know I liked deck builders. And I don't want to do stuff like Magic or the Gathering.
Nah, it's not a deck builder.
It's not okay.
No.
Deck
builders, because deck builders, everybody starts off with the same cards, and then as you play through the game, you build your deck up, and then
Okay, maybe I just
works.
love deck builders
Yeah.
because I like Balatro for similar reasons.
Sure.
You're unlocking things, you learn new strategies, but the game is different every time you play it.
Sure.
And there's different modes, blah blah. And then I've been talking about Clover Pit. I had to think about it for a second. Clover Pit recently with the slot machines. Same thing. It's just the core gameplay is there, but you change it by getting different items and whatnot. So Slay the Spire 2, the art is fantastic, as I said. They have different celestial beings this time around. So not just the one from the first game, but you get a bunch of different ones unlocked. You have 2 new characters, and all the characters play totally different from each other. Well, not maybe totally, but there's a lot of different mechanics in there. And they've added this extra layer of universal storytelling in it. So as I'm unlocking epochs, then I'm reading more about the differences that go into this thing. Because the first one was really, hey, let's make a tower climb game out of a deck builder. And you get to the 3rd level, which I've beaten a few times. You beat it, and it just kind of puts you to sleep and says, was this all a dream? And you start over, and you can do it in a harder fashion. The villains are so different in this one, and the question mark rooms, I love them because they're truly a mystery, right? You never knew before, is it going to be a villain, is it going to be a chest? Or I think in the first game there's only like 4 or 5 different little side things that can pop up in them. I have not unlocked all the things that you can have pop up in them. It's just constant different type of story changing or path changing choices, and it's a lot of fun. So if you like that kind of thing, I highly recommend Slay the Spire. Oh, it is co-op now. And so I need somebody who's my friend to buy it because as of right now, I don't know if they plan on changing it, but as of right now, when it's on Steam, there's not like a universal room I can get into and start playing with somebody.
Yeah.
It is very much like if you had it, Dennis or Joe, you had it, I would have to send you a game invite when we play together specifically. Which I like that idea. And I really want to see how some of these synergies work together with the two different characters playing. And I don't even know how it works. So somebody buy it, please, and can play with me. It'd be awesome.
If only it could be like It Takes Two, where you only need one copy of the game. And you just invite somebody to play with you.
Yeah. But then, you know, we won't get Slay the Spire 3, so shut your hole.
I mean, It Takes Two won a whole bunch of awards and made a lot of money, so I think it worked out just fine.
Oh, no, I loved it. I played the crap out of it. And I'm playing the second one they made, Split Fiction.
Oh, I didn't know they made another one.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna, because Phil and I started doing it and then fell off. He wants to do like a birthday stream at the end of the month, so we'll probably play through that at least somewhat. Do party games, stuff.
I
like
should
that.
probably try Slay the Spire 1 at some point, because I think I bought it when it was on sale for like a couple bucks.
I think you might have that or Balacho. You said I remember after the show with that you said you jumped into one, but you are actually watching the spinoff of My Hero Academia.
Yes, My Hero Academia Vigilantes. It's season 2. For those that are unfamiliar with Vigilantes specifically, it takes place 5 years prior to the start of My Hero Academia, and it focuses on a character who wanted to be a hero, but for reasons that you find out was unable to go to a hero school, and so but he still aspires to be a hero. He has the drive to be a hero, so he goes a little outside of the law, and but only a little bit, to be honest, because most of the stuff he does doesn't technically break the law. So in the My Hero universe, it is illegal to use your quirk to fight, basically,
unless you're licensed or whatever.
Exactly. And so he uses his quirk. Usually he does do some fighting, but usually it's to distract villains until the heroes can show up. Or if he does fight, he more often than not, he has the permission of a present villain or a present hero.
Yeah, present
to
villain.
fight.
Yeah.
Well, because and even if you're not a hero, you are allowed to use your quirk in self-defense. And so, you know, taking all of that into consideration, but he has kind of an understanding with some of the heroes that regularly patrol his area that he's more of an asset than he is a hindrance. But this season in particular, it has actually focused a lot on Eraserhead. So in the main
The black
series,
and white movie. Wow, that's sweet. It's a creepy baby, I'll tell you that.
So in the main series, there's a hero named his code name is Eraserhead. His real name is Aizawa, but he's a teacher at that point in the main series. In this one, though, he's still an active hero, and so it's been focusing. This second season has had quite a few episodes that have been flashbacks to when Eraserhead was in school. And so we're getting to see some of that background that was only alluded to in the main series and see how some of that came to be, which that's been fun, but also seeing Koichi is the main character's name, seeing his quirk grow and develop and evolve to a certain extent has been a lot of fun as well. I'm really hoping that by the end, he somehow is able to gain his hero's license, because I know that would be, he would love that. I don't know from a legal standpoint how that's accomplished, because we've only seen the one path to becoming a hero in My Hero Academia in the main series. Yeah. And so, but I have to imagine that there is a way to become a registered hero without attending a hero school. I mean, there's got to be some kind of a GED test for becoming a hero.
HED test, the hero education development, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
The equivalency, diploma, whatever.
And
the shed test.
And so I'm hoping that he does, even if maybe he goes to another country or something, because he doesn't pop up in the main series at all. He is a character that doesn't show up in the main series, as far as I know, unless he's, you know, an Easter egg in the background, which I completely missed.
He turns into the Void or some other villain for the main series. Like, oh my god!
But yeah. So that's kind of what I'm hoping. I have not read the source material, so I don't know what to expect down the line on this. But it's been a lot of fun seeing a different perspective on the heroes from a non-hero who wants to be heroic.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great series so far.
Nice.
And Dennis, you came on so that you could trick other people into giving you money like you have me.
That's exactly right. So the thing I'm nerding about lately is just the fact that I don't have time to do anything else. So this is literally all I can do at the moment. So I write comics about the world's first werewolf, and it's called Lycan Solomon's Odyssey. And the 4th book just went live on Kickstarter at the beginning of the month of March. Last I checked, we were at 64% of the way there, which is really good considering shipping is not included this time until afterwards. So the amount of money we've made is actually more impressive than it was the last time we did it, because the last time had shipping involved. But I've been doing podcasts like yours, so thank you so much for having me on. And I've been I got a painting done for the show that I have next week. I did a Big Trouble in Little China painting, and yeah, I did the
classics.
I did the skeletal staircase from the wedding scene, because 2 of the gods are going to be at the local show in 2 weeks. The Thunder,
Are you
not
gonna
Thunder,
get him to sign
The
it?
Thunder Brothers, or whatever?
no, Wind and Lightning, because Thunder's dead, I believe. I think Thunder died. But yeah, so I've just been doing that constantly and working on social media posts and just trying to get stuff together and, make it better and all that stuff. And then got the flu today. So it's just like, oh my God. And then I have a show tomorrow. So literally I have conventions almost every single weekend that the Kickstarter is running. So 4 straight conventions. So it's, yeah. And this weekend isn't going to let out till 7:00 on a Sunday, which means I won't get on the road till 9, which means I'm not going to get home till 1 a.m. So it's going to be a long weekend.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what I've been nerding out about lately. You can find it on Kickstarter. Lycan, Solomon's Odyssey, chapters 1 through 4, or lycanbook.com, Lycan book.com.
Yeah, I keep going to Hivehead Studios. I type that in, and then
you can get through there that way because there is a tab that says Kickstarter that'll take you there. And there's a button, I believe, also on the main page that says Kickstarter.
And then, of course, you got the Facebook page, and I'm sure
Hivehead Studios.
Post you put out there and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to come in as I do in the last few days and make sure I get my pledge in. I'm still protesting your brother fully. He is.
I mean, you could do 1201, and then I'll put your name above his.
No, it's not. It's not 1 plus infinity. It's not. There can be
You're
only
right.
one.
It's not 1
there
plus
should
infinity.
actually be only one. God King.
No, because he's going to try and talk his other buddy who doesn't like to lose into it as well. So here's hoping. Fingers crossed.
I know. I put in the blood, sweat, and tears, and we've got it audibly, visually documented that I get like 10%, and I'm your agent when the Netflix comes knocking.
That's fine.
So
whatever.
I'm good. I'll stick to the 600. Get me my hockey jersey. You know what? Whatever it takes to get the premium, what you just tell me, I'll add that on.
Okay.
I want the premium quality jersey, but
okay. But without the cool stuff on it, you just get the premium quality.
Well, of course, I want the cool stuff on it. I'm not going up against your brother. I am not competing. This rock god.
Hey, yeah, you're the
only
rock
loves
god,
people
not
who
the
love
god
him.
king. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. Not everybody can be a god king, Charles. It's okay to be lesser.
I believe I am one of the only.
That's right. You're like a demigod prince. There you go. You're like almost there.
Oh,
like
God.
some of the way there.
You know what? I think it's time to go home. That's it. Thank you, Dennis, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And looking like a fuzzy wuzzy bear. We appreciate it. Like us on Odyssey. Kickstart it now.
Follow these nerdy dads on social media. Charles at Rock God of Podcasting. Joe at Joseph_Ard. Check out the website, wiseandnerdy.com. And as always, they may not be your father, but they'll always be your daddy.
Shut up, Mike.